Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Wonder Woman Historia. Finally, because a lot of you guys were asking me to talk about Wonder Woman Historia, and I'm not even gonna lie, I completely forgot. But here I am, finally able to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on the book. And of course, people, it's probably one of the best-selling Wonder Woman books so far that we have had, but the title is very misleading, to be honest. I know it's called Wonder Woman Historia Amazons, but you should just call the book Historia Amazons. And let's be honest, the only reason why this book is sold, first off, it's been hyped for a long time. And we have to remember, this is Phil Jimmez artwork. His gorgeous, overcomplicated, extremely detailed artwork that sold this book, not the storytelling, because I'm going to get right down to it. The story sucks ass, to be honest. And hyphen, Aferio Panero, and Rafamilio Ferreira Jr. I hope I didn't butcher any of you guys' names. You guys over-colored his work. Phil Jimmez does amazing, and I mean gorgeous work. But there is it's also going to be on the colorist, because the colorist oversaturated his work too. But also at the same time with Phil is because Phil doesn't get a chance to draw that often for DC and Marvel like he used to. He overcomplicated this work of art. Like these look great for like posters, but for like storytelling wise, it just doesn't work. And I don't like how it feels like they're trying to make the goddesses victims. And I don't like this artistic take on the goddesses, the gods, the Olympian gods, because I had, the reason why I did that is because I went back and I read the original George Perez run. I didn't go back to the 1940s one, but I went back to the start of the iconic Wonder Woman storyline just to kind of see how the gods act or whatever and stuff like that. I understand these stories are two completely different things, but I know this, I don't know. This book is not canon anyway. It's their artistic take on it. And I'm all for artistic take within reasons, because see, for me being a person who likes mythology anyway, and like Greek mythology and Roman mythology, it's really weird when they take such drastic changes to the characters, and then when you have something to say, people want to complain. People want to get mad that you have a problem with the dramatic changes that they made to the gods, which of course everybody have their own take on the gods or whatever, but it's weird because of what I know the Olympian gods to be in the DC universe. You get what I'm saying? So we've already seen them numerous times of what they look like in the comic book universe themselves, and most of them look really ancient, really Greek mythology. The work, the characters that all the women, that all the goddesses and all the gods that were drawn in this book that Phil Jimmez did, it felt like this was him throwing out, oh look, I can also be a fashion artist as well, because the characters don't feel Greek. They don't feel mythologized. They feel more like, here is an artist's artistic take on the characters. But since you're writing for, since this is for a DC comic book, it's weird. It kind of conflicts with, I understand Phil Jimmez wanted to be artistic, but when you're writing for an established universe of characters, it's kind of weird. Like if this was their own take on Greek mythology, sure, but when you tie it into Wonder Woman, DC comic books, I mean the DC universe, it is one of those hard things for me to like get past. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, it was a struggle to read. First off, because Phil Hernandez is so detailed in his work, the bubbles in the text are so small because they don't want to, cover up, the gorgeous artwork. And I don't blame the letterers for not wanting to do that or stuff like that. But to be honest, I'm just gonna be flat out and say that this story so far is nonsensical in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? It feels like you're trying to retcon the origins of the Amazons for what you think the Amazons should be for modern times. And it's just like, that's fine and all, but history is history, and especially when you have people who likes mythology, who likes Greek mythology, and are proficient readers of it. It's kind of weird that you're trying to change up these characters to fit some kind of modern standards of things that I do not like. I don't like, because it comes off as, oh look, here's a gay man and here's a straight woman coming together, creating some kind of fanfic version of what they want to see these goddesses as, or whatever. And I don't know. I think Kelly Sue kind of forgot how not well received the New 52 origins take of the Amazons were. Like, of course, some people say, oh, Wonder Woman Volume 1 New 52 run was pretty great. Not really. The artwork wasn't all that bad or nothing. And they made the Amazon these bloodthirsty whores, to be honest, because that's what they were at the end of the day. They were definitely that. And I just feel like there's a way to go about showing that they're warriors, but without trying to make it where they're these gruesome women who just solemnly kills, or have this like killer nature about them. And you can't always victimhood the women too, because let's be honest, these goddesses have also done terrible things to men and even other women as well. There are tales of showing that. So to make it where the goddesses are almost victims themselves, and even, I mean, I understand with the Amazons do have a little, kind of thing, especially tied to, they're supposed to be bringing peace to the world, but men's world is kind of destructive. They were betrayed by men that they trust, and then they were cast out to this paradise island where they protect and serve the biddings of the gods. It's one of those kind of things. But I don't really want to get all the way deep into it. I'm just saying, from what I was reading, is that it just doesn't feel genuine to who these characters, what I read from my understanding of Wonder Woman. And again, I understand this is a book that is supposed to be that it's a black label book, it's a mature book, it is outside of continuity, but it is one of these books where I'm more like, why does it exist? What's its purpose? And for me reading it, I don't see the purpose nor the reason. I just feel like this was just an excuse that Phil was able to be creative, and Kelly Sue DeConnick, wanted to do something with women, and they were like, hey, I got Kelly Sue had this fanfic version of what she thinks the goddesses and Wonder Woman's history should be. And Phil was like, well, I haven't drawn in a long time, and I really got these like cool designs that I want for the characters or whatever. And they're like, yeah, let's go for it. And this is it. And again, I'm not saying that that you can't be creative or whatever and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that you can't change certain things, but I don't know. To me, it just doesn't feel like, it just didn't feel like a Wonder Woman book, to be honest. It felt like a book outside of DC comic books as well. So it's one of those things like, okay, so you want this to be a Wonder Woman kind of thing. Well, I mean, it's really focused on the Amazons, but don't title it Wonder Woman. And again, I feel like this book was only made so Phil Hernandez could just flex his artistic skills, which there's nothing wrong. I mean, I appreciate the artists and stuff like that. And I'm glad that he was able to actually come back on a book. I would prefer maybe the main Wonder Woman title, but with probably a good writer that could really give us a good Wonder Woman story where we get to see his beautiful artwork shown in present, but in an exciting Wonder Woman story. This doesn't feel like an exciting story. And that's the major problem with Wonder Woman Historia, is that it's so unnecessarily complicated. I mean, I understand the story so far, but it feels like, okay, but why was this story here? You could have did something better. You know, what I would have did is with Phil Hernandez, since if I was the writer and I had Phil Hernandez, I only had three issues, we're gonna go and do us like a three Jokers kind of story, to be honest, with Wonder Woman. I'm not saying that we're gonna actually get three Jokers, but I'm saying we're gonna do a three Joker like story where, you know, we set up this mystery and it's going to focus on a few characters. So the only characters that, if it was me and I was writing this Wonder Woman story, we would focus on Diana, Cassie, and Nubia. I understand some people are like, why did I skip Donna Troy and whatever? There's a method to my madness when I say that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I want to tighten the niche between Wonder Woman, Cassandra, Nubia. You know what I'm saying? And we if you read plenty of Wonder Woman stories, we know the connection that Diana and Donna have. This story would explore more of Cassie, Nubia, and Wonder Woman's connections with each other, and it will cause a journey for them all together. That's what I want. Like, I want a grand adventure throughout the three books, you know, that focus on that'll spotlight each three of these characters, but mainly give more credence to Cassie, Wonder Girl, and Nubia, and reestablish her being the sister of Diana. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's the black twin sister of Diana. That's what she originally was created for. Let's do that, and let's actually reestablish that firmly. And maybe we can take a villain. We can take a villain, a Greek villain, maybe, and we can put that as a credence to it. That kind of caused like this mystery of who is Nubia, who is Cassie, who is Diana, because of the interference of that Greek god, maybe. So we can use the Greek god of Theodon, I believe. He is the Greek god of reality and uncertainty. And that could lead into answers that Wonder Woman, Nubia, and Cassie's been wondering for a long time. And it can still be a story where it can either be out of continuity or in continuity. If you write it correctly, it can definitely be really cool. And it can explain the wiki-wonky origins of what's going on with Diana, Cassie, and Nubia, because those characters are affected the most out of when DC rebooted the New 52. And you can kind of, you will be able to kind of play around with that kind of torturedness of uncertainty between all three girls and them overcoming that. and defeating whatever Theon has set up for them, and then they overcome it, and then we can discover the truth of who these three characters are. But because they went on this cool adventure and they were able to still save the day and firmly establish who they are at the end of the day, that would be a good story. That would be something that will really sell, and I would definitely use Phil Jimmez for something like that. You know what I mean? That would have been lovely to see, but they wanted to do like this kind of historical record of what Kelly Sue believed the origins of the Amazons, or the history behind the Amazons, are in the DC universe, and that's fine. But it feels more like this could be for fan fiction more so than an actual book. Do I hate it? Not really. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say I hated it. I just think it is over bloated, to be honest, and it's really saving grace is really Phil Jimmez artwork, to be honest. If you really want to just see like a quick origin peek, just read the Wonder Woman George Perez run and go from there with Wonder Woman, to be honest. Would I say pick up the book? If you like Phil Jimmez artwork, sure. If you like Kelly Sue DeConnick, sure. But if you don't really care about the story, I wouldn't pick it up. I'm quite sure that DC or Phil Jimmez will probably sell original artwork pieces or create little posters of his drawings that you can probably buy. That's what I would probably do. I mean, and that's just my opinion. It's not a terrible book. I just want to recommend it to people. Like I said, just read the George Perez Wonder Woman run and read from there. And that's just my honest opinion on Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazons. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.